Be real with you guys. I've been falling off Apple pretty hard lately. Now, over the past 10 years, I've been using the iPhone wholeheartedly, but something about where they're heading, it's just not it. Especially with iOS 26 coming up. Yeah, I saw the updates and thought, this shit is trash, uninspired, and I'm pretty sure that this is far from what Steve Jobs wanted to do with Apple. And after seeing all of the features, the look, and many beta testers testing iOS 26, I seriously started thinking, what if I left Apple for good? Now, as you guys know, I actually already dipped my toes in with the Infinix Note 50 Pro pretty recently, and don't get me wrong, that phone is a beast for the price, super fast, loaded with features, but I needed something with a little bit more staying power. You know, something that I could trust long term. And that's when I decided to finally pick up the OnePlus 13. And I'm telling you, this might be the first phone that actually made me feel comfortable switching away from Apple for real. And in this video, I'll give you guys the full breakdown why I switched, what caught me off guard, and whether or not the OnePlus 13 is really the iPhone escape plan that I've really been searching for. So let's get back to the basics. Before the OnePlus 13, I was rocking the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and honestly, it wasn't a bad phone at all. In fact, for content creation, it was great. I used it to shoot many YouTube videos, grab B-roll on the fly, and even do some light editing right on the phone. The quality was always there, clean, detailed, and stable. But what really kept me in the Apple world was just how everything clicked together. My AirPods, Apple Watch, and MacBook all worked like one big team. I could be editing a script on my laptop, answer a call on my watch, then instantly switch to watching a video on my phone without missing a beat. And if you haven't tried, that whole seamless ecosystem, it's no joke. It's honestly a productivity dream when you're deep into content creation like I am. And then there's the social stuff. I mean, let's be honest, having an iPhone just makes messaging and posting easier. Everyone in the US is on iMessage, AirDrop saves time, and when you're networking or sharing files with other creators, it's just convenient. So yeah, I stuck with it for a long time, not because I was obsessed with Apple or anything, but because it was familiar, comfortable, and it worked. And I was honestly scared to break that flow. It's kind of like when you've lived in the same apartment for years. It might not be perfect, but you know where everything is, you know how to live in it, and switching out of that comfort zone, well, that's not easy. But sometimes in life, you do outgrow comfort, and that's what started to happen. At some point, I just hit a wall with the iPhone. Not right away. This wasn't a dramatic throw it against the wall moment. It was more like a slow buildup. Little things that started to bug me more and more. The battery life slowly started degrading even further, and the way it will overheat doing basic stuff like filming or editing clips, and just how stale it all felt. Like, come on, let's be real. The iPhone doesn't feel magical anymore. Every new model is basically the last one in a shinier suit. iOS has been buggy, and don't even get me started on the lack of real innovation. I honestly looked at iOS 26 and thought, is this really the best that they can do? And I think what really started to eat at me was just how boxed in the whole ecosystem makes you feel. Sure, everything works well together, but only if you stay inside Apple's little walled garden. Try to customize something or use a different workflow, or God forbid you share a file with an Android user, and suddenly it's like you're being punished for not following the rules. So yeah, honestly, I got bored. As someone who genuinely loves tech, I started looking for phones outside of the US, devices from China, India, and even the Philippines. I started realizing that they're pushing the envelope way harder than Apple is. From faster charging to unique hardware to even crazier software features, it really felt like they were building for people like me, enthusiasts who want to explore, not just exist. And that's what led me to the moment of truth. A couple of months ago, I got my hands on the OnePlus 13 to test it out. I wasn't really expecting much, just wanted to see what the hype was about. And within the first week, I was like, wait, hold on. This thing is smoother, faster, feels more premium in the hand, charges fully in minutes, and the camera quality wasn't that far off either. And that was the moment that the switch flipped in my head. And what really hit me was the price. The OnePlus 13 cost less, and yet it felt like I was holding more phone, more innovation, more freedom, and most importantly, a phone with a better looking future. I've been thinking about switching for over a year, but in that moment, I realized that I had already outgrown my iPhone, and looking back, I remember even the unboxing experience on the OnePlus 13 was already way better. Again, before I even touched it, I wasn't expecting a lot. I've unboxed a lot of phones before, and they all kind of blend together after a while, but this one instantly felt different. The version that I got was this soft matte back, and it just felt right in the hand. Not slippery, not too cold like glass, and definitely doesn't catch fingerprints every time I pick it up. The flat aluminum sides give it a really clean, modern look. honestly more industrial and more polished than my iPhone 15 Pro Max. The first thing that I noticed was just how balanced it felt. Even though it's a big phone, it doesn't feel too bulky. And then you have that circular camera module on the back that is different but also looks really clean. And booting it up, the setup was pretty smooth. Transferring everything over was surprisingly quick, and Oxygen OS made the transition way easier than I thought. It actually felt snappy and organized and not bloated like some Android skins. I kept noticing small things. The fingerprint scanner is under the display and it just works fast, no misses. The animations are clean. The phone feels quick but not overly flashy, and everything just feels fluid. And when it came to the charging speed, it was pretty unreal. Like, I was so used to plugging my iPhone in and waiting forever, but this thing goes from 0 to 100% in under 40 minutes, which was really impressive. And unlike my Infinix Note 50 Pro, I realized that this one might actually work long term. Starting with the software, I didn't expect to say this, but Oxygen might actually be better than iOS. For one, it just feels faster, apps open quicker, animations feel snappier, I have far fewer lags, and I can actually customize things, like the lock screen, the icon layout, and I feel like the overall customization was just better, like when it came to adjusting certain app looks, the icon layouts, the theme stores, gesture shortcuts. You know, the little stuff that Apple can't seem to get completely right. Notifications are also handled way better. With iOS, I miss stuff or get buried in group alerts, but on the OnePlus 13, it's far more cleaner. I know what's important and I can act on it instantly, and it really feels like I'm in control and not the other way around. And then there's the charging. I cannot overstate this enough. 100-watt charging is life-changing. I went from babysitting my iPhone overnight to topping up the OnePlus in 15 to 20 minutes before heading out. No battery anxiety and no drama. When it comes to multitasking, Oxygen OS wins there too. I can open a YouTube video while replying to emails or split screen a dock and a browser. iOS still makes that a pain outside of iPads, but I won't lie, I did lose some things. iMessage and FaceTime were huge parts of my workflow, especially when dealing with clients and other iPhone users. AirDrop too, and the whole Apple ecosystem is still unmatched in terms of seamlessness. So yeah, the switch wasn't perfect, but day to day, I found myself enjoying the OnePlus 13 way more than I thought I would. It's not just a phone, it's flexible, fast, and low-key smarter about how it handles real-world stuff. And here's the part that really caught me off guard. I expected the OnePlus 13 to be good, but I didn't expect it to outperform my iPhone in certain areas that actually matter to me. First up, you have touch responsiveness. I didn't think that I would notice much of a difference, but after a few months, the OnePlus 13 just felt faster to interact with. Whether I was scrolling through my feed, switching between apps, or editing something, the display felt super in sync with my fingers. There's almost zero lag input, and the 120Hz refresh rate feels smoother than what I remember on my 15 Pro Max. And speaking of smooth, when it comes to heat management, this one blew me away. I was playing Genshin Impact and Call of Duty Mobile for a full session, basically thinking it was going to start cooking in my hands like my iPhone did, but it didn't. The phone stayed cool, and I never had to worry about performance throttling or battery melting in the middle of a game. So for creators or mobile gamers, that's a pretty huge deal. Another surprise was the camera system. Of course, the iPhone is ahead when it comes to pictures and videos, but the OnePlus 13 also held its own. Especially in good lighting, the videos looked sharp, stable, and had that nice natural depth, not overly processed. Even the portrait shots were better than I expected. Clean detection, natural blur, and a style that honestly reminds me of the Pixel at times. Again, it's not quite the iPhone replacement across the board, but it's way closer than I thought it'd be. So here's the final question. Do I regret switching from the iPhone to the OnePlus 13? Well, if I'm being honest, not even a little. In fact, this is the most refreshed that I've felt using a phone in years. It challenged my routines, made me rethink what I actually want in a phone, and honestly reminded me why I got into tech in the first place. To explore, not just stay comfortable. So would I switch back to iPhone? Maybe someday, but not right now because I honestly don't miss it. And if I had to sum this experience up in one line, I'd say leaving the iPhone didn't feel like losing something. It felt like finally I was choosing something for myself. Peace.